This daily activity that has taken me and it will take you less than 20 minutes of your time will make bulking so much easier, so much more efficient. It's going to make the whole process autonomous and you're not even going to think about doing the actions required.
Yeah, boy.
We want to make bulking so easy and so autonomous to the point where it just becomes a normal part of our day, you know, doing the actions and we don't even think about it. Over the space of 5 years, I've gained just under 30 kilos and I've done this. This isn't necessarily needed to be done, but it is something that is going to give you such an advantage and you're probably going to get ahead of a lot of people. If you're watching this video and you're a man and you're slightly on the skinnier side and you know you want to get muscular, a lot of the time what I see, and it's really sad, is people devote their time, right? And time is the most valuable human currency. It's a non-renewable resource. We don't get time back. So wherever you spend time, you want it to be of value. You want to get something back from it. But what I see a lot of people do, especially men on the skinnier side, you know, where I started, right? They go into the gym and they eat and they stay consistent with it. But a year goes past, they've devoted hours, you know, hundreds and thousands of hours into the gym, into eating, into meal prepping, whatever, and they aren't making progress. That is because they aren't carrying out the actions enough to a good quality or consistently. We want to maximize results. We want to get as big as possible. And this 20-minute activity can save you a whole lot of suffering in the long term. Right? Daily activity that I've done for just under 5 years that has helped me and it will help you as well is called implementing your intentions. If you've never heard of this, I do not blame you because I stumbled across it in a newsletter by James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits, and honestly, I've not read that book, right? I just stumbled across this newsletter. Implementation intentions, or implementing your intentions, basically just refers to you stating where you're going to do something, what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, where you're going to do it, when you're going to do it, right? Essentially, just planning ahead, keeping yourself organized, and giving yourself a day-to-day structure. This is going to help make bulking so much easier. It's going to lessen a big thing in your life that's stopping you from growing, and that thing is called resistance. You know when you need to go to the gym or you need to hit legs or you get back at 8 p.m. and you know you need to eat a meal but you don't feel like doing these things and you feel this weird like sensation, you hear this weird voice in your mind telling you like, you know, you don't need to do that, just go and sit on the sofa or just stay in bed. Voice is telling you to not do the thing you know you need to do, right? That voice is resistance, and resistance is what stops someone from growing. The bigger the resistance is in your life, the harder it's going to be to grow as a person. And I'm not just talking about in the gym, but I'm talking about your life as well. If you want to make changes to your finances, your job, you want to get promoted or whatever it is, we need to minimize resistance as much as possible because that is the force that is stopping you from growing. And resistance can be present in our life when we aren't necessarily aware of what we need to do, or in other words, we don't have clarity on what actions we need to carry out today in order to achieve our goals, right? And I'll give you guys a perfect example. So we've got student A and we've got student B. They're both revising for the same economics exam, I don't know, right? Just an example. Person A implements their intentions, so in other words, they're planned ahead. They basically know when they're going to study, they know what they're going to study at the specific times, and they have a timetable of different things they're going to study throughout the week. Or in other words, they have a study split, right? Just like a gym split, they know what they're going to be studying on different days of the week, right? Just like in a gym split, you know what muscles you're going to train throughout the week, right? And student B, on the other hand, doesn't implement their intentions. So they haven't got a plan, they don't plan ahead, they're not organized, and they don't necessarily have a structure to their study, right? The person who's going to feel more resistance out of these two is student B. And the reason is because he doesn't know what he's going to do. Therefore, he's going to be going with the flow. And when someone goes with the flow, whilst they're thinking about what they need to do, they may be unsure, they may be stuck. And that is where resistance comes in. And that is where resistance can easily eat away at the student, not literally eat away, but mentally eat away. And then the student just ends up not studying, right? Which is bad because the studying is the thing that is going to help them get a better grade in the exam, right? In other words, if you don't carry out the actions required, then you aren't going to make progress. And if you plan ahead, or in this sense, implement your intentions, then the likelihood of you carrying out the required actions, so eating in a calorie surplus and training hard and doing those things when you're meant to every single day consistently, if you implement your intentions, the likelihood of you, doing those things is going to be much higher. Therefore, the likelihood of you making progress is much higher. It all starts with having organization in your life, right? As Jordan Peterson says, I'm reading his book right now, but he basically says if someone isn't necessarily organized at home, then how on earth do they think they're going to make changes in their life, basically? And the first chapter that he talks about, I haven't got onto it yet because I'm still reading the foreword, is all about making your bed. I'm pretty sure, right? So having organization from a baseline level is so important, because that is your foundation that you can always fall back on when things aren't necessarily going your way, right? So what I want to do is essentially just run you through a very simple step by step how I do this at the end of every single day, what I'm going to be doing later today as well after my work day is finished, which is in a few hours, right? Which is going to set me up. And another thing as well, it's going to give you that mental visualization advantage, right? If you know exactly what you need to do the next day, or throughout the week, or when you need to get a deadline done by, you can start to mentally visualize these things. Therefore, you can get in the zone, and that is something else that reduces the resistance also. So how I essentially do this in terms of bulking, the first thing I do is I identify my training time and I identify my meal times. So basically, when I want to eat my meals every single day. This gives you the visualization advantage, and it also gives you the biomechanical advantage, right? And what I mean by that is, first of all, if you start training at the same time every single day, or not every day, but whenever you go to the gym. I don't go to the gym every day, I go 4 times a week. You don't need to go every day, right? But for example, when I go to the gym, for example, I went today. I need to stop saying for example. When I go to the gym on the days I do, I go to the gym, well, I aim to every single day unless something happens, around 7:30 to 8 o'clock in the morning. Within that half an hour window, I try to get there at 7:30. Because I train at the same time whenever I go to the gym, my body clocks onto this. My body knows, okay, I am being put under resistance and under stress, and I'm straining hard at this time in my body clock. Therefore, after doing this for a prolonged period of time, your body's just going to get used to that. So, training in the mornings may be hard at first, well, they were, but the more I did it, the more my body knew, okay, I need to prime myself for physical activity now because we're about to go to the gym. Your body will clock onto your habits. And it's the exact same thing with your diet. If you start to eat at similar times every single day, and also if you plan ahead, not only are you going to have that mental visualization of when you're going to eat, which is going to make you hungry because you mentally are aware of it, but your body's also going to clock onto these habits. And this is because of a hormone called ghrelin, and I've been through it in enough videos, but basically it's our hunger hormone, and when it releases, it stimulates our appetite and we become hungry. If we eat at the same times every day, we basically will become hungry at the same times, which is going to make bulking so much easier. So you get the physical and the mental benefits from this. So the step one, and what I do in terms of bulking, is identify my training time, when I'm going to go to the gym, and my meal times, when am I going to eat throughout the day. The second thing you want to do is keep a calendar, right? This is going to help you with the next step and the next thing that I like to do every single day. But, for standard reasons, you want to keep a calendar so you can keep a life organized. You don't want to miss, a catch up with a friend you haven't seen in a while because you forgot about it, because you didn't have anywhere to put it. Or you don't want to miss out on an important meeting with your boss who could be telling you about a promotion, but because you don't turn up to the meeting, he might say, bye bye mate, you're off you pop, I'm not seeing you again, and don't come back on Monday, right? That's, I don't know. But, keeping a calendar, bog standard stuff, very, very important. And, one of the reasons why that's important in relation to this is because if you usually eat a meal, or let's say you train at 2 p.m. every single time you go to the gym, but on Wednesday, when you're meant to train back and biceps, you have a meeting, an important meeting with your boss at 2 p.m. Because you have it on your calendar, you can be aware of it in advance, therefore you can just make some adjustments. However, if you're unaware and then on the day you think, oh no, I've got a meeting with my boss, then you're probably going to skip the gym, and you're just going to be all over the place. And I've been there, and you might have been there as well. So keeping a calendar is very, very important, because step 3, we need it. And step 3 is called PTT, and that stands for Plan Tomorrow Today. So essentially what you want to do is label out every single half an hour of your day, and I mean it, from when you wake up to when you want to log off and go to bed, right? And you want to plan out exactly what you're going to do. This is going to give you clarity to a new level that you're not used to before. And the reason why keeping a calendar is very important is because you essentially write out next to the hour when you're doing that certain thing, right? So I'll give you guys a great example. I've got my PTT sheet down here. So every single day, what I do is I write on this thing right here, okay? And you can see it is from every single half an hour that I'm awake throughout the day. From 5:30, honestly, I didn't get up at 5:30 this morning, but I'm trying my best to, and I'm working my way down to it, all the way to 9:30 when I aim to go to bed, or at least log everything off and start reading my book for a little bit, right? And I've got everything I'm doing throughout the day here. And if I ever feel lost, if I ever feel a little bit of resistance or a little bit of confusion, I look at that and it steers me right back on path straight away. It will just keep you on track and it will keep you in the loop, and as I said, it will give you that mental advantage. You can start to visualize what your day is going to look like tomorrow and how you're going to absolutely smash it. And visualization is such a key part of execution of actions in alignment with your goal, right? So if you do want access to this PTT sheet, what you basically need to do is very, very simple. Click the link in the description, and you'll be led to a free community of mine with over 300 people where I've been helping for just over a year now. And it's a fantastic community. You'll love it, I can guarantee it. And when I've accepted you, you just want to message me YouTube in the personal DMs, and I will send you over a copy of this, and you'll get access to it. But yeah, that's basically implementation intentions. Thank you very much for watching this video. I appreciate your time. If you did enjoy it, it would really, really mean a lot to me if you could drop a like, drop a comment down below on your thoughts as well, maybe how you're going to implement this, or make a promise to yourself that you want to commit to. Hold yourself accountable. I'll be there for you. And if you want to stay around, I'm going to be dropping videos like this, and also more lifestyle as well. I had a recommendation from one of my clients actually in the comments on my last video, saying he wants a day in the life. I'll give you a day in the life at some point, and I'll do all of that jazz, right? I want to experiment with the videos a bit. So if you've got any ideas on how I can maybe make the videos maybe more entertaining and, you know, the equivalent right here of watching paint dry, let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments. But yeah, that's me. Thank you very much. Join the community if you want the PTT sheet. Start implementing your intentions and you'll change your life.